What's going on, y'all? So listen.
What's going on, you guys? So we are back again for another episode review of Sistas. Season 5, episode 17, Looks Are Deceiving. Lord Jesus Christ. Here we go again. Um, Girl, this episode, nothing, okay? So let's go with Sabrina. Sabrina calls Bio over as we saw at the end of last week's episode. And, well, not necessarily at the last week's episode, but, Bio comes over and basically she sits down and she winds up telling him everything that went down about how, Maurice was dating somebody. I wouldn't even call it dating, but Maurice was messing around with Q and Q wound up playing him and then trying to take from the bank, whatever, and then putting it on them. And so basically he was like, what can I do? And she said, his bill is 1.5 million. Do you think you can help? And he was like, so you said your friend, he was with another man, another guy or whatever, he was dating this guy. And she was like, yeah. And was like, he must be a bad man. And I was like, excuse me? Me and Sabrina said, huh? He was like, in my country, that's a bad man. That's bad. And I said, oh, so baby, we homophobic too, huh? And that's what Sabrina wound up saying as well. And he was like, no, 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 that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that he was with somebody that was robbing a bank. And so therefore, the way he tried to flip that, because the way he initially said it was not this way. You literally said that he was with a man, so therefore he's bad. But now he's trying to flip it and say, he was with a man who robbed a bank. That's not what you said at first. You finished your sentence when you said he was with a man, and you said in my country that's bad. So basically, he's trying to say, so if he was with somebody that's bad, so obviously he has to be bad too. So therefore, no, I can't help you. And I said, don't necessarily work that way. And Sabrina should have said, well, to be quite honest and to be more fair about this is Maurice didn't know that dude was planning all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But of course, Bio said no. And I was like, Sabrina, drop him. Drop him, because I just don't trust him at all. And when you, and truth be told, you should never ask him in the first place, okay? But I get it that was your last resource or whatever, and you knew for sure that he had the money. But of course, now stuff is awkward. He still wanted to take her out on a dinner date, and she was like, not now. Calvin pops up. And, they stand each other down or whatever. I'm like, boy, get up out of here, Bio, okay? And so, of course, she had to tell Calvin what was going on and how he ain't had the money, or he wasn't going to give the money. And they talking about the money that they had together. At the end of the day, now, see, y'all told me the information about the difference between the federal, the state, all that stuff. I still don't understand, but I think I got it. So, technically speaking, they do got to do the 1.5 either way. I still feel like it should be some provision where they can give some cash and it shouldn't have to be that much. But, to each his own. They ain't got the money. I don't know why Sabrina keep on, well, I got 87,000 and Calvin, you got this. And Calvin like, I could talk to my dad. And he said, I said, baby, do whatever you got to do. We got to get Maurice out of there. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Maurice calls, and of course Maurice is upset. Maurice is probably scared now. Now we see the real situation going on with Maurice, with the fact that when he first got up in there, he was acting like, or when we first finally talked to him, he was acting like he was cool. Now he's breaking at the seams because he's ready to get up out of there, and he's scared that he might be spacing a whole bunch of years. So it's just not really looking good. And I really hope that he do not try to flip and lie on Sabrina, because then I'm gonna be mad at Maurice. At one point Danni had came over there to Sabrina's place, and you know what, Danni, Tyler, we've had this discussion before, and I need you to cut it real quick with a skillet, okay? Because it's tired. Danni, at this point in the juncture of this show, every time she sees Calvin or every time his name is mentioned, she does not have to be low-key homophobic. Saying these jokes about him being a panty man, saying is it lipstick on his wine glass and all that stuff, it's low-key. It ain't low-key. It's homophobic, but in a joking way, disguised by joke. That's a form of homophobia, okay? And at this point, it is being she's being ignorant because the man said he's not gay, okay? So that's just, and it's not even funny anymore. Well, it really wasn't funny, but it's not funny, okay? And so, you know, she trying to tell her, Sabrina just feels like, that's my friend, I need to get him out of there. And Danni is just like, you know, technically speaking, this ain't your fault. And truth be told, because somebody gonna say something, you know, in a comment that it was wrong for the way that Andi snapped off at Maurice when they was on the phone last week, because she had to tell him about himself, because he was acting ungrateful. He was doing a lot. He was, you know how Maurice be acting or whatever. And I had to say no. Talk about something, it wasn't his fault or whatever. Technically speaking, all of this is his fault. And Andi was 100% correct for coming at Maurice like that, because everybody else has been letting Maurice say and do whatever it is that he wants without correcting him in a way saying, you're not going to talk to me this way. I am on this phone. I am doing what I have to do when I don't have to try to help get you out of jail. And you coming at me the way that you coming at me on this phone, acting ungrateful and everything. No, 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 no. What Andi said to Maurice last week needed to be said, okay? And I was like, this kind of is his fault, because, you know, you got with Q. You didn't really want, I don't even remember how they came together, but at the end of the day, you should never let him stay up in your place. You should have put your foot down. You should never let Calvin convince you. Okay, so that's why I'm putting it on Maurice. You know, granted, he didn't think this was going to happen or whatever, but this is a chain reaction from his actions. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, it is what it is. Moving on from that, let's just get to, since we talked about Danni, let's get to Danni and Preston, because I don't understand. Danni gets home. Preston is making dinner. He's waiting on her. And basically, we get another situation of them trying to figure out this relationship. Basically, Preston wants to know, what did he got to do to make this lady love him? And I'm sitting here like, on the one hand, Preston, I will not be dealing with somebody who do not know what they want. I will not be dealing with somebody who I have to convince to love me. I will not be dealing with somebody who don't have their stuff figured out, okay? And I'm putting all my all into it and they're not giving anything. So, also, on the other hand, I am not finna, you cannot think that you're gonna win somebody by keep on pestering them and badgering them and trying to tell them and giving them ultimatums and threatening them, oh, I'm gonna marry this person if I don't marry you. You know what I'm saying? You don't want me to marry her. That's what you've been saying for the past few episodes. You know what I'm saying? And if this the case, go ahead and marry that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, that don't make sense. That don't make a person want to say, okay, I'll be with you, don't be with her. No, okay? And that's even if Mindy is really a real person. I don't know at this point. I don't know if he thinks that this is what will get Danni to come to him. And I'm sitting here like, you got Danni messed up, because Danni ain't that type of person. You know, she's not finna follow ultimatums, because if that's the case, she wouldn't have let you go the first time, you know? And my whole thing is, Preston, you cannot force a person to love you. You cannot wait around for a person to love you, because it might happen that they never do. Not the way that you want to. Y'all ain't been together long enough, in my honest opinion, to even be at this level. It's too soon. And, you know, neither one of y'all are ready for marriage. Neither one of y'all got rid of the baggage that y'all have, okay? Neither one of y'all really know each other, you know? And that's on both y'all parts, okay? You tried and she didn't, so it is what it is, you know? And so this whole, what can I do to make you love me? And do you even love me? And she was like, I like you. I like you a lot. And I was was like, wait a minute now. He asked you that earlier. You said I do love you in the other episode. And now she's saying that she just like him. And then she said, I do love you, but not in the same way that you love me. And at this point, I said, Preston, pack your stuff up and go. You know? And I was just like, you know, y'all just friends. Okay? She was like, basically, at this point, we don't know each other. There's a difference between us. And I said, all of the reasons that Danni was giving us, the reason why she's not close to him or doesn't feel the way that he feels, and, you know, the relationship wouldn't work or they don't need to be together, is mainly because of her. If you're not close and you don't know her or know him by now, he don't know you, he don't know this and all this stuff, it's because you're not letting him know these things. And he's been trying. So at this point, I said, Preston, just go ahead and go home. He said, listen, I'm going to go home in the morning. But then once she said all of that, he said, you know what? I'm just going ahead and go now. And I'll call you in the morning. I'll call you tomorrow. Baby, I wouldn't have called her nothing. Okay? He tried to hug her and then gave her that forehead kiss. I said, oh, not the forehead kiss. Now, see, the forehead kiss can be good and the forehead kiss can be bad. And in this case, it was bad. Okay? That's not a good look. I said, Danni, you just like to sabotage and sabotage. So she winds up calling Andi and telling her what was going on and that, you know, she needs to go out and do something and she just want to go hump the next person that she see. And then Andi's just like, you need to slow your roll, okay? Stay at your place. Don't bring nobody home. Do you remember what happened the last time you had somebody over there that wasn't Preston? Exactly. Learn from that. And she was like, fine, fine, fine. I'm finna go over here to go talk to Sabrina. Good thing she actually did go to Sabrina's apartment. But I literally said on Twitter, if he makes Danni be dumb enough to actually call or go see Q, I am going to be over this show because what the is going on. And then it's still a possibility that that might happen because we only saw her go to Sabrina's house. We didn't see her leave yet. And then again, where there is a prime opportunity for Sabrina to say this man's name, Q, she does not in front of Danni. I'm just sitting here like, oh, I'm so over it. I'm so over it. And then the whole situation with Andi, right? So Andi, you know, Robin comes in and he wants to take her out to dinner. She said no. He said, well, how about a drink? She said, okay. And he was like, you can come and sit in with me when, you know, Hayden and Gary and them get there to the little meeting that they're going to have tomorrow, you know, the next day. And just so that she could see the look on their faces and know that they didn't get over on him or whatever because he already got the money and all this stuff and woo, woo, woo. And so at this point, they go down to the bar and Andi is just so giddy and like at this point, Andi has crossed so many lines. Robin has crossed so many lines, you know. And y'all work at a law firm where I'm pretty sure it should be something in the policy about fraternization with your employers and your employees, okay? Because it's a possibility that you can be brought up on some stuff just in case stuff go wrong. And then you're the boss and it could be looked at as you're trying to overpower this person or you tried to threaten this person with their job. And so they felt threatened because they felt powerless and all this stuff because you're their boss. I said, y'all don't care about ethics at all right? Going down to the bar, drinking, and flirting and trying to make up. And then we find out that what's her name? Karen is at the restaurant where she's at as well with Aaron. Now, let's get into what was the main episode. I mean, the main part of this episode that was actually irritating, but I had a couple of things to say. When the episode starts off, it picks up where it left off last week with Zach and Fatima when Zach got shown that picture. Zach left because Zach was pissed. Zach was pissed because he know he didn't do anything. And the fact that Fatima didn't give him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't do anything, I would be pissed too, okay? And somebody had to make make a point and connect the dots for me for a second, because they reminded me that this same storyline happened up in Zatima. Remember when I think Zach's friend had a picture of Fatima hugging up on her ex when she found out that he was sick or whatever, when she was jogging or something like that? Or no, when he was at the restaurant. They went to the restaurant. He had to tell her what was going on with him and all that stuff. And they hugged and all that. And now he got the pictures when he was walking past. So he just took a picture of him, the bald-headed one. And then he went and showed Zach. Okay. I said, so we repeating storylines and shows already? Wow. Okay. So, we get this whole thing, and of course he felt some type of way at that point. And truth be told, they're both acting the same way. Because I feel like Zach had shut her out for a minute and was waiting for her to say something. But then he had to say something because she wouldn't have. So he's doing the exact same thing. Like, now he's just going over there to try to see what Karen did. If Karen had something involved with it, because he is adamant that Karen set him up. Karen set me up. So he went over there to the shop. Karen is not there. Pam giving him the runaround and all this stuff. So he winds up calling her phone from the shop phone and said that he about to come down there to the restaurant because she told him where she was. I wouldn't have told him shit, but hey, that's just me. Okay? So of course, when she was at the restaurant with and Andi had came over there and spoke to her, whatever, after, Zach had said that he was coming, of course, she had to tell what's the face, Aaron, like, you want us to go? I said, shut up. Okay? Something about him he just irks me. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Like, I don't know, he just turned so I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Andi had talked to her, and then Karen was like, hold on. So Zach coming down here, you telling me you don't know anything that's going on? And I just hated this part because Karen, if she would have known and wanted you to be on guard for something, your friend would have told you. And I hate the fact now that they're trying to make it so that Karen can have so much suspicion of Andi, and have Karen put it in her warped ass mind that, Andi is no longer as close of a friend to her because she's because she's being friends with Fatima, and so therefore she's not letting her in on everything and she's holding things back. And that is not the case. She literally did not know that Zach was on his way down there. You know what I'm saying? Did she know about the picture? Yes, but at the end of the day, that ain't got nothing to do with her. None of y'all business got anything to do with Andi, so why would she say anything, especially if she did not know what was going on? Do you not think that she would have warned you that Zach was coming? If she did, yes, she would have, okay? But, she kept on questioning her, and I'm sitting here like, girl, sit your paranoid ass down. And you can see like the slight smirk on her face. It's like she don't want him. She acting like she don't want him to come down there, but you know that she do want him to come down there at the same time. And so Fatima is over there at her place. Angela is over there. And this whole back and forth about how Fatima used to be this way. You can't respond the same way you were before when you was in your old relationship. You healed from that. I went through this for that and tried to get over this, and I'm not trying to revert to this or whatever. Are you sure that was really your friend can be trusted or whatever? And see, this is where that whole conversation annoyed me. Because now I'm looking at it like, I have no feelings at this point, because listen, at the end of the episode, Zach winds up going to the restaurant and he confronts Karen, and he gets all loud. Did you take a picture of me? Did you take a picture of me? Did you take a picture of me? You set me up to get to who you had to take a picture of me and all this stuff. And Aaron kept on interrupting. And I'm not going to say I was mad at Aaron for for saying stuff or whatever, because the way Zach came in, he came in real rude. He came in real loud. He was real disrespectful. So I'm not surprised that Aaron popped up and did what he did. You know what I'm saying? You want somebody, Zach, I understand that you pissed off, but all of this really wasn't nothing to get that hyped up over. Like, you want answers, you got to talk to a person like a human being. You got to talk to them like a mature adult. Karen wasn't giving you attitude, and you came right at her throat. And truth be told, I don't feel like Karen, after looking at this, Karen ain't had nothing to do with that. Karen ain't had nothing to do with that. You want to know who I feel like had something to do with it and who actually did it, and it wasn't really no friend who did it? I feel like it was Angela herself. I feel like Angela was at that shop herself, or Angela was outside the shop, not necessarily in the shop, because the way that it was taken, it looked like the picture could have been taken from outside the window, and she was sitting out there and she zoomed in and saw them from that angle, and that's why it looked like they actually were kissing instead of hugging. And she did kiss him on the cheek, but it wasn't the mouth. That's what I feel like, because Fatima said, you know, I don't, because listen, she was like, you sure your friend don't know Karen? And she was like, no, she don't know her. And it was like, because you know, she be doing a lot of crazy stuff, whatever. I mean, I've seen her a minute, but she this and that. So I'm sitting here like, okay, so Fatima at least seen the girl, the so-called friend, but at the same time, it's not adding up. And I'm sitting here like, did you really see her, or was this something that Angela had told you about what she's done before? That's the question at hand as well. Also, you say that the friend don't know Karen, but she's at Karen's shop because she could be getting her hair done by somebody else. You know, at the shop, it's multiple stylists there. That's one. But also, if she don't know Fatima like that, she don't know Karen like that, and even if she do know Fatima like that, which she don't, how does she know Zach? And how does she know Zach enough to take a picture of Zach being with Karen and then send it to Angela? The math ain't mathing. 1 + 1 is not equaling 2. It's equaling 11. Okay? So figure that out. Riddle me that. And y'all tell me how y'all feel about that theory. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.